Hey, what's up you guys? Geek here from Geek.en.Chic and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're anything like me, you've probably been seeing online a lot of things about a personal curriculum. I like to call it the resurgence of the Renaissance. So you're probably thinking, what is a personal curriculum? In this video, we'll go over what a personal curriculum is and the 5 steps of creating your own personal curriculum. So what is a personal curriculum? It is a self-designed learning plan. You explore topics at your own pace and combine them with a bit more of a formal education plan. It's kind of bringing out your personal curiosity combined with the desire to learn. I really love this trend out of all the ones that I've been seeing online. It allows people, regardless of any kind of entry barriers, to seek knowledge to whatever extent they thrive for. It could be at the end finding a certification online that fits their course of study, or it can truly just be for the love of knowledge that people jump into this. This is great for people who work a 9 to 5 or a 7 to 3 like myself, and you still have that yearning for knowledge, but you're not enrolled in a standard institution. In a personal curriculum, you are both the teacher and the student, and together I think this is truly one of the best ways to learn. So there are 5 steps to creating a personal curriculum. Step 1 is finding your passion and choosing your pillars. These are going to be the topics you'll be studying. 2 is structure your learning practice. This is finding out the best way that you as a student learn. 3 is finding your learning material. We're going to review the best practices in finding good resources and the ways to avoid poor resources. Step 4 is documenting your learning. We're going to review the best ways to keep your notes and document your learning so you continue to retain that information you learn after the curriculum is over. And as a reminder, step 5 is to have fun. So we're going to review all of these steps together and drop some tips and tricks along the way so that you can have your most successful personal curriculum yet. Step 1 is finding your passion and choosing your pillar. You really need to ask yourself why. Why are you choosing to learn? Why are you putting yourself out there in this topic? What is it that you're looking for? Your answer could be something as simple as, I'm bored with the monotony of my day. Or it can be something like, I wish to be a disgustingly well-educated woman. Something like that is just your passion. It could be out of spite, I don't know, but whatever it is that drives you to learn, you want to hold on to that. Since this is a self-paced class and self-driven curriculum, you need to remind yourself why you're doing this. If we don't have that passion, sometimes we'll find ourselves drifting away from our knowledge or the desire to learn. So you want to remind yourself why you're doing this. Ask yourself, what do you already know and what do you want to learn? I would recommend starting with a topic or making a list of topics of things you're interested in and narrow it down from there. For instance, Halloween just passed. So if you're someone that carves pumpkins every year, maybe an October curriculum could be diving into All Hallows Eve traditions and why some have continued to modern day and which ones have fallen off. Things like that you're passionate about will be what drives your education. You want to get a list of things you're interested in. This can be anything from Gothic literature to the history of salt to the female bobsledding team of 1992. I don't know, but it could be anything like that. As long as it's something you're interested in, it will help you going forward. Once you have a list of things you're interested in, I generally recommend bringing it down to 1 or 2 different topics, maybe 3, but don't overexert yourself because this is a self-paced curriculum and you want to avoid burnout. But once you narrow it down, you'll have your list and ideas of your topics that you'd like to continue with. Step 2 is structuring your learning practice. This is where a lot of people get confused because there's so much content out there, there's so much to do, and they're not really sure where to start. This is when I would recommend reflecting on what works best for you in your learning style. Are you someone that does better with lectures and sitting and listening to a live speaker? Are you someone that prefers to sit and read textbook style and annotate? I recommend a mixed theory of learning. So this means combining books with audio, visuals, maybe even a hands-on project. Some people are solely book learners and will just take out books. You'll see later on in my style of learning, I do a combination of multiple things. Movies, books, lectures. I prefer that mixed theory of learning. You want to break down your topics into weekly or monthly objectives. I start all of my lessons with goals. So as in today, I want to read chapters 2 and 3, and I want to get through this video essay I found online. Remember, this is the long game. Short-term goals are best. You'll get to your end goal or your course description by the end of whatever time you set, but don't expect to get through 15 chapters in one day. Set smaller goals. With smaller goals, you'll get that sense of accomplishment more quickly, and you're more likely to stay tuned into your knowledge by achieving those small-term goals. I am a note taker, so generally I will have 2 notebooks with me. One is my subject notebook, where if I'm listening to a lecture, I'm taking notes. And the second book that I have is my brain dump notebook. This is any thought that I have that isn't in line or I can't find a way to put it in my subject notebook, I throw it into my brain dump notebook. I prefer to keep 2 notebooks because I like my course notes to be clean in one notebook, and then my brain dump notebook is a little bit more messy with random thoughts and maybe even pieces of art that I want to make afterwards based on whatever I'm learning. I also want to take time to remind you that this is a self-driven curriculum. This is your personal curriculum, so make it fun. Go on field trips! Beforehand, we were always stuck in classrooms. It doesn't have to be that anymore. If you are studying pottery, go to an art museum, go to a pottery class, talk to an actual person, an artist, a librarian, someone. Go out in the world. The best way to learn is also by practice. So take yourself on field trips to the movies, to an art museum, to a lecture in a brewery. Whatever it is, go out there and do it. The world has so much knowledge waiting for you that can apply to the topics you're studying, so don't be afraid to go out there and see it and put it into practice. And the last part of structuring your lessons is time. Be consistent. It does not mean you have to sit down for 4 or 5 hours every single day after work to try and get all these lessons in. You can pace yourself. This could be a 1-week sprint. It could be a 1 month. It could be 3 months. It could be a whole year you're studying these topics. It's self-paced, so don't squeeze everything in that small time frame. But consistency is key. So even if it's 20 minutes a day that you're taking to read 3 pages of a chapter or to view a video essay online, that's still a step ahead of not doing anything. Doing something, starting that practice and getting that consistency is what's going to help you moving forward. Step 3, finding your resource material, finding your learning material. I'm very passionate about this because it can send you down such a rabbit hole spiral that you get so enthralled with the amount of knowledge there is in the world. What I am most passionate about is free resources. There may be paywalls out there, but I try and provide you resources that have no paywalls because education is a free right. I believe that people should all have the availability and accessibility to education. Education should be accessible, and that's why I have a list of free resources that I'm happy to provide for you. I'm going to say it, it's controversial, and that's why I'm going to say it, Wikipedia. Now hold on. I can already hear all of the teachers and professors yelling at me saying, Wikipedia is not reliable. I know. What I want you to do is go to the Wikipedia page, whatever topic that you want to study, and scroll all the way down, keep going to the resources. This is where you're going to find the resources you want to look for. We're not reading that Wikipedia page. Yes, it's there. Yes, it's free, but anyone can edit Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a collaborative site of knowledge from other people, and it isn't necessarily always fact-checked. But you want to go down to the resource section, and here you'll find lectures, books, thesis papers, research papers that have been peer-reviewed, reliable resources that you can just click on and get directed to the original source. And sometimes it'll actually bring you to a free PDF of the source. So while using Wikipedia as your primary source for study is not recommended, nor do I encourage it, I do encourage you to go down to the resource page and see what other authors of whatever page and topic you're on have cited, and go to those works that have been cited. Another free resource that I recommend is JSTOR. If you do not know what this is, it is basically a scholarly site that allows you to read up to 100 articles per month. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who's reading 100 articles per month unless they're doing their doctorate thesis on whatever topic it is. And this is a great resource, like I said, to add to your education and your studies. Say you want to go more for scholarly papers or research papers, theses, things like that. Google Scholar will be your best friend in that. It'll bring up peer-reviewed papers for you. I do always recommend reviewing the peer-reviewed date as well as the original source when doing so, but I do recommend it as a source for finding materials in that sense. Now, this one is my favorite of all-time resource, and if you do not utilize it, I will judge you severely. Go to your local library. Yes, your local library. There are librarians who are employed with degrees solely on being able to help you find materials based on any topic that you are researching. They are literally sitting there hoping to help someone, waiting to answer your questions. Please utilize your libraries. There's so much material there. It's great to go and actually talk to somebody else, and they'll be able to help pull additional resources that you may not have even thought of. I truly cannot talk more about how amazing a library is. And what's even better, my local library actually has a place on their website that you can get recommendations from librarians. And it doesn't have to be research topics. You can say, I love 1970 rom-coms, and they'll send you movies, they'll send you books, they'll send you recommendations. You can say, I'm a shark lover and I love sharks with good endings, and they'll send you books based on sharks. Like, these resources are out there and I highly recommend going to utilize them. And last but not least, if you are looking for documentaries to watch, Canopy is my favorite of all time app to use. If you don't know what Canopy is, it is a free app associated with your library card, similar to Libby, but solely for movies and television and documentaries. Step 4 is documenting your learning. So whether this be on a computer, on a 3-ring binder, maybe going to get a college-ruled notebook, whatever it is, go out and get it. This is your time to be creative. I usually, like I mentioned earlier, have 2 notebooks, my brainstorming or my brain dump notebook, and my course note. I personally prefer to handwrite everything and then transcribe that onto a computer, just so that when I go back and review my learnings and whatever notes I have taken, I can clean it up. Let's be honest, the first time we take notes, it isn't always clean and it can be messy. And if you're someone that loves like a dump journal or scrapbooking, this is a great time to start making things look pretty and make it beautiful. If you're learning about art history, put a picture of the painting that you've studied in there. Doodle, maybe even utilize some of the materials that you're discussing in your studies. If you're someone that loves those kooky, colorful pens, get them. I'm usually someone that has maybe 2 or 3, 4 different colors in my notebooks, all titling different things because I associated that with what I was learning. If you're someone that associates a color with a subject, embrace that. I'm someone that thinks math is red, so I will always go ahead and get a red notebook for my math studies. Not only about documenting your learning, I recommend joining communities like Discords or Reddit pages or Tumblr. Join other communities and document your learnings there. Talk to other people. Create your own Socratic seminar. Get a group together. If there's other people who are interested in learning the same thing as you, get them together. Host wine nights. Do presentations where you can retell what you've learned in your curriculum to other people. Make it fun and document how you're learning. Learning doesn't have to be neat. It can be ink spread pages. It can be post-it notes covering up mistakes. It could be white outlines everywhere. Whatever it is that helps bring you back into learning, I encourage it. It could also mean that you're doing washi tape with cute little designs and little chibis that are pointing to your next pieces of notes. It doesn't have to be aesthetic, but if that's what you want, that's what you do. I also recommend reflecting. After you've read a book or a few chapters, write your reflection, write your thoughts down. What are questions that came up while you were reading? Reflect on that. The best feeling I could ever express is seeing your progress and your mental thought from day 1 of starting your lesson to completing it, or midway through for your midterm, and seeing how you've learned and customized yourself to whatever topic is. It is just such a beautiful path to see yourself going, to see how much knowledge you've taken in, that I recommend reflecting every few classes, every few chapters. Reflect on that so that the knowledge continues to stay with you. Some tips I recommend when starting a personal curriculum is to start small. If you take on too many classes or you're too ambitious, you're more likely to burn out quickly, so start small. Embrace flexibility. If you don't have the energy to take on the social-political dynamics of airplanes in World War II, don't do it. Maybe you just take on bread baking that day. I don't know, but be flexible and be forgiving with yourself. You don't have to stick to such a strict schedule. You can allow yourself freedom and flexibility of going to classes that aren't so energy taxing. And like I said, document your learning, keep notes, make infographics, make charts. If you're someone that loves Excel, make a spreadsheet. Do whatever it is that is going to make you passionate. And I kind of talked about it a little bit, but join communities. Join Discords, join Tumblr, join Reddit, join your local library for lectures. Find and join a community because you'll continue to have amazing, diverse conversations and it'll keep you still interested and intrigued in the conversation. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really hope this helps in explaining what a personal curriculum is and inspires you to do your own. If you're thinking of starting your own personal curriculum, I can't wait to hear what you're studying down below in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, that would be great. And if you're interested, subscribe to learn more about my upcoming months and what I'm doing in my own personal curriculum. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm Geek from Geek.en.Chic, and this is me geeking out. So see ya!